the polishing project is finished up. I got in a zone here this morning and finished the project. I did about half the car this morning, probably about 4 hours into polishing. So if you take out all the time I did in showing you the step-by-step on the door and things like that, I probably have 10, 11 hours into this car, polishing-wise, closer to 10, where we did a hybrid single step. When I mean hybrid, I spot treated probably 100 different little scratches that weren't coming out with the perfect finish with Jescar and microfiber. So I went and spot treated some areas. If you haven't watched those videos, you can go back and watch the previous episodes. I think it's episodes 5 through 8 are the polishing videos. So there wasn't really much else I needed to say. So I didn't come back and talk about those or any more about it. One thing I will suggest, something I figured out. I feel like when I leave the bottle of Sonex Perfect Finish, when I leave it sitting on the table for hours and hours on end, what I was finding, and the remedy to this was to shake the bottle up often, and I probably should have been doing this anyway, is I would get clumpy, or I'd get these little clumps and a lot more dust from the product, even with blowing out the pads off and swapping out pads off. And so my suggestion would be shake up the bottle off, and I think that's probably common sense. I don't know why I wasn't thinking of it, but that seemed to remedy the issue of I kept getting little extra buildup on the pads that seemed to be flaking off as I would turn off access or hit an edge or something like that. So today's video is going to be prepping. First thing we're going to do is blow off the car with a compressor, with compressed air and a nozzle or a tip on the air lines. So I'll utilize the lines and go around and blow off the car. The other option you could do is you could take it out and wash it. The sun is directly overhead. It's like 1 o'clock here today, and it's really, really hot. So I'm going to skip that step. The other thing is I want to get the car done. Or at least close to done here today. Hopefully I can get it done, get the windows and everything treated with woofs. But I don't like to wax the car right after washing and rinsing it. I prefer to let it sit and dry, and I really don't want to do that. So what I'll do is probably just use a little bit more eraser. I'll use a little bit extra product in order to get it clean, and then the car will have to wash it soon anyway, because the Culinite generally will haze over. Oils will come to the surface. We'll talk a little bit more about that during the Culinite application. But the plan is to clean with eraser and the big white towels. You need to be really careful. Don't scratch the paint after doing all this work. So I want to be cognizant of that. Then we're going to use Jescar Powerlock Plus. This is a polymer sealant. The idea here is that you put a sealant down, which should add some longevity to this application. My guess is on this car we're probably going to get 6, 7, 8, maybe 9 months out of it here in Florida if we top it often with some sort of protective cover or protective drying aid like Optimum Car Wax. Another thing we're going to be testing is on this is Bead Maker, testing the validity of that with this Culinite combo that I'm so fond of. So Powerlock goes on first. You're going to see me smiling a lot when we put this on. Putting it on is no biggie. It's the taking it off part that's like magic. It's just so smooth. If you've never experienced this, it's just awesome. My experience, Powerlock by itself, 2 months maybe. Doesn't last very long as a standalone, and so what we're going to do is we're going to put this on, let it cure for 3 hours or so, and then put Culinite 845 on, which is a polymer based carnauba wax. Same carnauba content as their 915, but with some polymer additives. I don't know what they put in it, but it's just amazing. We'll probably need to go put it in a little bit of water here to heat it up a little bit. I know a lot of guys like to heat it and put a sprayer on it. I don't see the need to do that because I'm not using nearly that much product. You don't want to cake this on, but it's a semi-liquid, semi-solid and we're going to use the red pad. The red and yellow pads are the same, they're just different colors. Once you put the Powerlock on this pad will never be able to be used for anything else, but these Adams blocks I sell in the store are pretty expensive, but they last for years and years and years if you take care of them. They really don't even need to be washed out. I just stick them in the cabinet and then I'll blow them out before I use the product again next time around. The Culinite will tend to get kind of powdery and leave some dust behind, so you may want to wash this one out right before you use it. But the Powerlock on this will last forever. Again, it doesn't wash out, so I guess that's a testament to its water beating or water repellent capabilities. So, last thing, I've got my red wax removal towel. I'm going to use a nice towel. I like a lower pile towel because we're going to be putting a thin layer. We don't really need to be buffing too hard to get this stuff off. The Powerlock comes off like butter. The Culinite will require a little bit more work. That's why we don't want to put it on too thickly. So anyway, let's get started and getting the car cleaned up. Blow it off first and clean it up, and we'll go from there. This tip here is, I guess, OSHA approved. It gets rid of some of the noise. Clean all the surfaces here with our eraser. Now, eraser, I don't like to spray too big of an area because it will dry on us. And it is alcohol based, so. And there's nothing special here we need to worry about other than just don't go crazy buffing too hard. I don't want to scratch the surface we just spent our whole week working on. But the purpose of this product is to remove any leftover residue or oils, mainly the oils from our polishing. All right, we want to get that all off the surface and prepare it for our sealant, and we want to get a solid bond. This is a brand new towel, but you always want to check your towels as well, especially in this phase. I didn't mention that in the polishing videos, but I'm constantly checking my towels when I grab a new towel to make sure that I don't have anything stuck in it. Last thing you want to do is mess up all this work. We'll be dealing with the trim after we do the Culinite Powerlock. So, you know, I've always found that washing the car is better because I can get all the dust out. But again, in this application I explained earlier why I'm preferring to just do it this way. So having such a big towel is nice for doing this big job. You can flip it around and it absorbs lots of liquid and is really gentle, especially these new versions with the new pockets, just really soft, even for a waffle weave. Just nice. Tell you what, people, I'm never going to be able to go back to not having to doing anything like this, a project of this magnitude, without a lift. A lift was life-changing, made this so much more enjoyable as polishing is. I like polishing the hood. I don't know how you guys do this all day, every day, the guys that detail for a living. All right, so I'm gonna go around the whole car and do this, get it prepared for our sealant. All right, so generally we'll go with our Powerlock Plus. We'll go top to bottom. So I'd start on the roof and work my way around. Like, I already have the car up in the air from wiping it down, and I want to capture some video here for you. And so I'm gonna do it a little bit differently. Powerlock Plus is a lot different, just the way it's set up. It's not as thin as the old Menzerna Powerlock. So I think the formula is very similar, but the product is a little thicker. And we don't need a lot. I like to get my pad kind of primed up here a little bit so it doesn't grab at all. So the initial application is a little more than I normally would put, but you know, tiny little bits of product. And then once I get the pad rolling here, it's silky smooth. I know some are going to start flipping out about putting it on in straight lines. I don't find that I get as even of coverage if I do that, so I like to put it on in circles. As long as you don't have any sand particles or dirt in your pad, we shouldn't have any issues. When we initially get the pad set up, there's a little bit more product that we add, but again, we don't need a lot. The surface should be grabby after doing the eraser wipe down, right? We should feel some, there should be there's nothing on the paint. So we've removed all those polish oils. So we should have a surface that's wants to grab if your pad isn't set up properly. You don't have a little bit, at least a little bit of product on here, but you'll find that you don't need to keep revisiting this pad over and over and over again. You can do large sections rather quickly without issue. And it's not like a coating where I have to do small surfaces at once, but stay organized, which you can see I'm getting a little disorganized here as I'm talking. Tiny bits of product. I'm going to open up the doors here and do the jams. I'm not going to do the trim or glass with this. We're going to do wolves on the trim and glass. I think this thing gets a little tricky is getting into tighter spots like this. Normally I would keep a little wax applicator pad, you know, those little cheapy little yellow ones laying around. I may put some on a towel and get up in there. I think I got it up in there, so I think we're safe. So my general procedure on this, gosh, it's been a while since I've done Powerlock, isn't it? I haven't done it since I did my my blue GT3. You can go back and look at the videos. That was well over a year ago, I think. Yeah, definitely. And maybe not, right around a year. And then we'll open up and do the jams as well. So I'm just rolling through. This is the last couple of panels. I actually did this opposite. I did the lower parts first and the top part second, but you know, that's what my pad looks like. You don't want to cake this stuff on. You just want to keep it where it's smooth and it's applying evenly. The general concept here is to leave it on. I'm going to let it sit overnight today because it's about 5 o'clock here. So I'm going to wipe this off and then we'll show you that. And then we're going to do the Culinite tomorrow. So that's the process. You just want to make sure that you get good even coverage. And by the time I get back to the place I started, I'll be ready to wipe off. So here's what the surface should look like. Strangely satisfying, bit old school in nature, right? And it hazes over a little bit, but I just go with time. I started here and work my way around the bottom, and so I'll wipe it in the same direction. And so I'll wipe it in the same direction that I applied it. And I'm telling you, oh man, let me raise this up. And I'm telling you guys, this makes it all worth it. That look and feel, oh, it's like magic. It's amazing. You know, this doesn't offer near the protection that a much thicker coating would, but there's no coating that does that feels like that. Those of you who have tried it know what I'm talking about, what I've been raving about all this time. But man, there's something about the feel of Powerlock on a freshly corrected car. And it comes off super easily. Single wipe and it's gone. So the concept here is to get it. We got it on the paint, let it set up, and then we're going to let it cure overnight. I mean, this really only needs a few hours. And even then, I've done it before where I didn't let it cure. I just put the Culinite on right away. I can't really speak to whether that was a detriment or not. But generally, I follow this procedure where I'll let it cure for a few hours. Just so happens that today, the timing of when I'm doing this, I'm not going to have time to go and do the Culinite tonight. So we'll give it the evening, and then we'll come and we'll do a gentle, because there'll be maybe some dust sitting on the car, but we'll just do a real gentle wipe with one of these towels, and it won't be an issue. So don't stress out about that. Even if you're outside, I've let it, you sit outside. Worst case, you could spritz a little bit of Optimum spray wax on your towel and just walk and just wipe it off. I'll show you tomorrow that before we do the application of it, the Culinite. Looks like this car is 2 shades darker than when we started. So your natural question is, why would you not coat this car after doing all the work? I mean, there's I think a difference in depth, clarity, shine in this process of what we're doing here with this product topped with the Culinite wax. The wax adds some more protection, but also adds some depth. There's just the feel, the way the water reacts to it, the way it sheets water more than just beads water. It does offer quite a bit of protection. Doesn't have as near the amount of water spot issues that most coatings present. So for me, in a car like this that my dad doesn't drive every day, it just makes more sense. Especially on a great color like this, it just pops. And I've gone and done many, many different high-end waxes, and I have Auto Finesse Desire. It's like a $200 bottle in the office on the shelf over there just to look at. I have a $330 bottle of Swiss Vacuum Corso. I'm telling you, this stuff rivals all of that. If not, I think it's better. It lasts longer. And that's the polymer part of having the sealants in both this Powerlock as well as in the Culinite. They just talk to each other. They bond well to one another. Don't know why. Not arguing it. It just works. So I don't know how many years I've been using this. 12, 10. See, 10 would be 2008. That seems about right. When I started using this on my AP2 S2000, maybe 2007. And I've left it and come back to it so many times. Man, you'll just be in your garage, you'll just be walking out, running the back of your hand across it. All right, so I'm gonna go around, finish wiping the car down, and I guess I'll come back and I'll see you guys tomorrow to do the Culinite 845. What happens when the force pulls you back, your foot naturally comes off the gas. You have to keep your foot to the floor, foot to the floor.